What's up, viewers? So one of the good things about um the role quests in this is since they're like side stories so far and haven't really connected with the main story yet, um you can kind of just do them. Like, people can watch your stream and not have spoilers unless they eventually take me to Solution 9 or something, or Living Memory, or any place like that, the end game. Oh yeah, I was playing Samurai. Currently, working on getting all of my DPS up to level 91, so that I can so that whenever I'm like, oh, I want to level Samurai, but I don't really want to wait in a leveling queue, then I can just go ahead and go do a trust, and I don't have to wait for the queue, because I'll have to test. I have to test how much experience I get with a leveling roulette. All right, so class and job quests, role quests, we've done. Oops. I think I forgot to mess with my retainers. Melee DP. Okay. Ooh, it's a Kugane thing. I think. My God, 45 minutes. Ooh, it's still using that. Let's. Okay, all that really matters on her though is dexterity, I believe, isn't it? Or is it? I actually don't think any of that even matters. I think it's just pure eye level, isn't it? Lunar envoy. Distance? What up, Zol? I know, right? Am I gonna give her these weapons? There's too many weapons. No. There we go. Okay. Anyways, what is up, Zol? I know you want to do Sandrock. I actually want to play Sandrock too, but I need to get these role quests done. There is a rush because they're there. Besides, Sandrock was always just a casual thing, you know. I'm still deciding what I actually want to do with Sandrock in terms of like, I'm not really caring about the cutscenes and like character interactions and stuff, in the sense of like it's multiplayer, so I feel like I'd rather get things done than worry about those things. And if I'm really curious about the story, which I kind of am, I could always just play it single player. I haven't heard about any unusual incidents in Kudane since our last altercation with the thief. There may be a reason for that. Do you remember when he claimed he was moving on to bigger and better things? If we're to catch him, we may have to expand the scope of our search beyond Kugane. Yet, he traveled all the way from Tudal to this eastern land for a reason, and I can't imagine he'd go too far. You know any other settlements nearby? Can I use cheat engine to give me infinite stamina while doing that? People live out in those waters, but they're so vast. Where would we even begin? Tamamize? Ah, so the Bakufu has an outpost at the Ruby Price. Sounds like the perfect place to start. Let's make our way there and avail ourselves of the soldiers' intel. If anything out of the ordinary has occurred, no doubt they'll be aware of it, shall we? Can't? I bet you can. Not that I'm going to, but I have no qualms against it. Well, this is unexpected. What brings you to the ruby price? No, it's not. Disputes? Strange you should ask. Not even a moon ago, the waters of the Ruby Sea were poised to turn a sanguinary shade? Please, tell us everything. A Confederate skiff approached the Ruby Price without authorization, and its occupant began hurling insult after insult in an obvious attempt to provoke. We did not succumb to their provocations, however. After warning the vessel we'd fire if they drew an ohm closer, they withdrew without a word. However, should they attempt to provoke us again, we will not display the same level of restraint, and the roar of our cannon shall signal their comrades to rally in full force. The waters will flow red. That there can be no doubt. Tensions run high, not like this has ever occurred before. I see. Thank you for the information. Might we speak privately? For me, resource gathering is all about balance. And I'm picky. Based on the testimony just now, I gather there's an agreement in these waters that the Confederates are not to draw near the Ruby Price, guarded as it is by Bakufu sentries. If that's the case, then as the soldiers stated, I can only conclude that the vessel earlier was attempting to incite a dispute between the two factions, which fits the modus operandi of our query, wouldn't you say? Perhaps it was he who sailed here under the banner of the Confederates. Whatever the case may be, we have nothing but conjecture. We'll need solid evidence before we can alert soldiers here to this threat. I doubt they'll heed our warnings otherwise. First, we need to verify if any members of the Confederacy actually approached the Ruby Price. Sakazuki. Looks like it would be fastest for us to swim there. That it doesn't look like it's that far away, but that's pretty far away. You're no pirate. Well, whoever you are, I hope you have a good reason to be here. What? Absolutely not. Not a one of my Confederate brothers and sisters would approach the Ruby Price without authorization. Those cowardly Bakufu dogs must have concocted this baseless rumor to get a rise out of us. This is like literally one of the best tops in this game. Any of your comrades sell to the Ruby Price recently? The soldiers at the Ruby Price said that, did they? Pardon my language, but we have no interest in Hingen waters. Anything, I've seen their skiffs encroaching on our territory of late. Ask me, they're the ones thirsty for blood. Besides, Zol, if we just make it so we can like gather everything super fast, we don't have to build all those machines. There you are. Listen to what this person has to say. The situation is more grave than we thought. I'm thankful you came, and not a moment too soon. Captain Rasho ain't been acting himself. Normally where he goes, Tansui goes, but not today. He showed up just earlier by his lonesome and ordered us to gather as many heads as able to join him on the Isle of Beko to attend to some pressing business. Normally I'd oblige the captain without a moment's hesitation, but I had a feeling something weren't right. So I asked him what manner of business. We're going to the gonna set the ruby sea price ablaze. He says, the bloody ruby price. Tried speaking some sense into him, but he weren't of mind to listen. Walked off saying he has no need of craven bastards like me. Bastards. Look, I don't know what's gotten into the captain, but it can't be anything good. Please, go to the Isle of Beko and stop him and be comrades before it's too late. But yeah, like I said earlier, one of the things about these role quests, this Rasho acting strangely can't be a coincidence. We need to get to that island quickly. Do you know the way? Got it. We've not a moment to waste. But now Zola's making me wonder if you can't cheat. And if you can't use cheat engine. Oh, one of the things I was saying earlier about the role quests is, since these are side stories and you're actually not even running around in, the expansion areas, like Zol can watch these just fine if he cares about spoilers, because there hasn't been any spoilers yet. We'll see how they go though. I hear voices. Seems they've gathered up ahead. I think all the other ones had combat. I wonder if this one will too. Those scum think they can encroach on our territory and get away with it. Be damned if we let them. Tonight we lay siege to the ruby price and seize it for ourselves. But are you sure? If we do this, we won't just be starting a battle. We'll be starting a war. You've been acting strange, Captain. What's gotten into you? I say we give the bastards what they deserve. Oops. Ooh. You are not welcome here. Be gone if you value your lives. You're a terrible actor. Her little potion thingy though, like, it sucks that it dispels it, but that's you saw through my disguise once again. Don't tell me you count even a pirate captain among your acquaintances. Right. What are you trying to accomplish? Why incite such conflict wherever you go? Why? Sorry to disappoint you, but contrary to the passage of the Unbound's prattling about freeing the I wish merely for everyone to show their true faces. Folk love to put on airs and sophistication and virtue, push them towards the edge and their masks slip off to reveal the monsters underneath. They'll go for their neighbor's jugular to save their own skin. You've seen it for yourselves. It's quite the spectacle. Oh no, is she gonna miss again? Real quick. Oh, is she just a horrible shot? I mean, to be fair, shooting a falcon with a bow and arrow when it's flying like that would be extremely difficult. Man of 1,000 faces is a true menace indeed. We'll return to Onokoro forthwith to alert the captain. Rest assured the Confederacy will be keeping a close watch over the Ruby Sea. I didn't think for a moment he was an imposter, and the lies he spouted about the Bakufu soldiers were enough to make my blood boil. To think what would have happened had you not been here to stop us. Kami bless you. All he wants is to expose people's so-called true faces. That he would use the cocoon for such a petty cause. Unthinkable. Let's return to Kugane for the time being. Oh, gee. You're gonna spam my channel? At least give me like some adult content spam. Forgive me. I find myself more disgusted with that villain each time we see him. To think all of this is driven by small-minded spite. From what I could gauge, he didn't fly towards Kugane during his escape. I believe he seeks a new settlement to terrorize. Now that the Confederacy and I are acquainted, I'll see if they can't help me sniff out his roost. No doubt where there's smoke, he'll be there stoking the fire. And I suppose I'll use this period to tend to my bow. Next time my arrow will fly true. Will it though? So we need to go to IMSA. So in case anyone is wondering, what I'm doing is I started with healer because that's who I do everything first with. Then that's in Limsa, and then I go tank to Ishgard, and then so Gunbreaker to Ishgard, and then Machinist to Alamigo, and then Red Mage to Radzat Han, and then Ninja to Kugane. But yeah, concerning Sandrock, like I'm not sure. I don't think I really like it too much with the like I like the game. That's not what I mean. I mean the whole seeing story and character stories and stuff like that. I'm not really liking that in the multiplayer setting. I feel like I would rather there just be like a really basic friendship system. Where am I at here? Oh no, wait. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So like just a very basic uh friendship type system where you're like interacting with them, but basically you're just giving them gifts and like maybe he's doing the sparring and the little card mini game thing with them to get their friendship points up so you can get the friendship bonuses. But I feel like the main focus should be like on building or something. I don't really know. I don't really like the incorporation, like the single player story and NPC relationship stuff being in the multiplayer version. Because I feel like I should be alone for the story stuff. Whatever. Oh, it's you. I actually kind of really like this character. I'm liking most of the characters, I think, for these role quests. You have to forgive the dour mood. I just don't understand it. How is it that Elarete and Kokonoa can so grandiosely reveal their names and identities, yet I remain unable to track them down? I've been following the latest hearsay, but I haven't had much luck. Not a soul's seen them since the incident with Wislam and Zirig. But that's not to say I've given up entirely. Now that they know I'm on their trail, I suspect they're using my unfamiliarity with this island, to their advantage. I dare say they're lying low outside the city. Why I proposed a trip to the Morobe dry docks. Folk here often speak of it, but I've yet to go there myself, so it seems as good a place as any. Your game, I'll meet you there. And I even get a discount to teleport there, so that's nice. High-strung shipwright. Ah, there you are. While I was waiting for you, this fellow came asking for help. Sorry to trouble ye, but me little brother's gone missing, and I could use a hand find him. He said he wanted to see the ships I made, so I started showing him around. But the next thing I knew, he was gone. Lad's probably got himself lost. Oh, that poor dear. I know we still have the heartsting to consider, but I'd like to search for this man's brother, if that's alright with you. Oh, yeah? Much appreciated. Sure we'll find him all the faster with your help. I mean, your character does have like a natural luck with this type of thing. You have me thanks. Me brother wouldn't say boo to a goose, so I doubt he'd leave the docks on his own. Boo to a goose? He's got a mop of red hair like mine, so you'll know him when you see him. Keep an eye out. I know you're itching to search for him as well, but I ask you to wait here in case he comes back. Split up so we can cover more ground. Good luck. I haven't been to the island sanctuary yet. Take him back then. You're lifesavers, both of ye. You deserve a proper reward, but I ain't got much to offer at the moment. Oh, we're in no need of coin. Just some information if you have it. Have you seen a urine woman and a Lullafellan man around the docks in recent days? One is an alchemist and the other a goldsmith. They'd likely have a few mammoths with them as well. Not, have you heard any rumors of food or drink that causes ailments when you consume them? Blindness or numbness, perhaps? Right, I haven't seen or heard anything or anyone like that. Sorry, I couldn't be of more help to you. Alright, that's alright. Knowing they haven't been around the docks is equally hopeful. Well, that's good, at least. I'll be praying to the navigator ye both find who you're looking for. Any road, the two of us ought to be heading home. Thanks again for everything, and good fortune and safe travels to you both. Yeah. Person. Still no word of the Unbound, but at least we could help those brothers. Children often let their curiosity guide them, which means they'll naturally wander off on their own adventures. I don't blame that man for worrying as much as he did. Seem to know a lot about caring for children. After a fashion, yes. I always enjoyed looking after the village children in my spare time. I try to be a good role model for them, though the other adults tell me I shouldn't dote on them over much. Now that I think on it, I've barely even told you about my family or my village, or anything, really. I'd be happy to share a few stories if you'd like. The ocean view here is beautiful, so we may as well enjoy the scenery and relax a bit. The character's always down for a good story. My people hail from the northern valleys of Dawntrail. We're a close-knit community of hunters, for the most part. Children are given spears, well, practiced ones, or they even learn to walk, and we hone our tracking skills from a very young age. Is it that surprising? It seems second nature to me. Then again, I've encountered my fair share of surprises here as well. Our village rests in a veritable sea of poisonous plants and animals, so the slightest injury on a hunt can prove deadly. Thus, we believe it prudent to begin our training as early as possible. Yet, no matter how skilled we might become, accidents are inevitable, and the heart sting proves vital to our survival. Not only does it produce poison, it cleanses it as well. In the right hands, it can dispel some of the deadliest natural toxins known to mankind. It even purifies the beasts we hunt. In fact, our diet consists of highly venomous creatures, ones that would normally kill a grown adult if ingested. The heart sting allows us to lead a quiet, peaceful life in lands where others dare not tread. It always has. I suppose that's why I never imagined someone like Elorete would take that away from us. When I left our village food stores were well stocked. Hungry. I must return the heart sting as soon as I can, for their sakes. I wish to bring back their smiles and make them feel safe again, just as we did for that young boy. In any case, thank you for listening. Thinking of home puts me in good spirits. As long as I remember who and what I'm here for, I'll be alright. I know it. But I've kept you long enough. I think it's time we made our way back to Limsa Lominsa, don't you? Sure. I mean, I don't really ever want to go to Limsa Lominsa, but I guess since we gotta go there anyways. I just realized go buy a new mattress today. Oh, so that's gonna be a little work getting that set up. Right button, wrong button combination. Zol, what are you doing? I imagine Zol is like making machines Sandrock right now. It's really interesting that the time was passing in there. That was a much needed reprieve, but we'll need to plan for our next destination, and soon. Yep. Well now, fancy meeting you here. Oh. Good to see you two again. What brings you to Limsa Lominsa? Nothing of import, really. Just a bit of restocking before our next job, but we happened to spot you along the way. Didn't want to miss the opportunity to greet our heroes. Our client... This person really should know who my character is. Because, like, my character canonically is a conjurer white maid, right? So he should know who she is. Our client arrived to a swift perch in one piece, thanks to your timely assistance. Indeed, while I regret that you had to see us in such pitiable state, we're both grateful for your aid. Because he's a conjurer, and I believe he's a warrior because he has that axe. So, warrior? Yeah, warrior. So like, it'd be really nice if you are a white mage, that he like notices you, or if you're a berserker, he notices you, because they should. And it should be like one or the other. When last we met, you spoke of pursuing those two charlatans, did you not? Yes, that's right. They've stolen a precious heirloom from my village, but I'm doing everything in my power to return it to its rightful place. That's the way of it. Bombastic as those two were, we've not seen hide nor hair of them in Elport since. No word of any incidents like ours either. But I have a feeling they won't stay in the shadows for long. If you sniff out any suspicious incidents while we're out and about, we'll keep you informed. I won't say no to some extra pairs of eyes around the island. I've made my base of operations here in the city, so if you hear even a peep about a poisoning, you know where to find us. Well, we may not have found any leads on Elarete, but I'm glad we had a chance to chat. With Wisdom and Zuriga on our side, things are looking up. For now, I'll keep in touch with our newfound allies. If I hear any news on our culprits, I'll be sure to let you know. Next is... Where does this take me? No stupid stairs. Okay, that was definitely not the right way to go. Dun 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 dun. I run past the stupid. How much is it to Ishgard? 313. 150. Okay, we'll just take it. You know, airships, looking how they look in this game, or they kind of look like balloons, kind of. No, not balloons. They don't look like airplanes, right? If we could have airships like that, and they could go for like, oh, I don't know, maybe like 100 miles, right? I wonder how many people would actually travel on them. 'Cause I tell you what, if we had those, I could ride one of those to the city, I totally would. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, this gunbreaker jacket, I love it. It looks so cool. And the sword, I actually really like the sword too. I don't really care too much about the chains on the sword, but it still looks cool. Ah, just the person I wanted to see. I'd like to ask your advice on a certain matter, if you don't mind. It's been a while since my last letter to Loa Zentqui. I wanted to wait until I discovered something worth sharing to write her, but we're still completely in the dark. I don't want her to worry, but I don't know what to tell her. Whatever you write, don't make her wait too long. You might be right. Silence might make her think that something terrible has happened. Alright, I'll start right away. You may not have much time left. Oh, don't misunderstand. It's nothing so grave as that. It's just, the last time I used the cradle was just before it was stolen. Luckily, I'm still as alert as I've ever been, but it won't be long until I must dream like any other. That will give it Leofine free reign while I'm helpless in bed. There is no quarry more dangerous than one who doesn't sleep. We have to see this through before that happens. Ah. We have received reports that several groups of temple knights have fallen afoul of what can only be your stolen artifact. Several, let me guess, they were all guarding someone else. You would be correct. It is the duty of a knight to protect those who cannot protect themselves. If we fail at even that most basic function, then our honor means nothing. As if the incident near Camp Dragonhead was not shameful enough, the knights in these most recent attacks were left in quite compromising positions. Yet the weight of embarrassment is a trifle compared to the guilt we would bear if any innocent came to harm. The Fury was merciful in that respect, but we would rather not see these incidents repeat. Still, while the Temple Knights must work to repair their reputation in the days ahead, 'tis a far cry from bringing Ishgard crumbling to its knees. Truth be told, the methods of this passage of the Unbound leave me mystified. But Leofine was cunning, if nothing else. Till we can discern her true motivations, we have little recourse but to wait until she makes a mistake. I think she seems a bit more serious than some of the other ones. Then you suggest she has a greater purpose in mind for it, and these incidents are simply a prelude. We cannot discount that theory, I admit. Shall remain vigilant. No telling how much chaos she can sow if left unchecked. We have to do everything we can to get the cradle out of her clutches. And to do that, we have to start asking the right questions. This new information makes me wonder, why has she focused her attention on the Temple Knights? I have pondered the same. Posted at Camp Dragonhead are knights from many houses of repute, including House Forton. Being a former Temple Knight herself, Leofine doubtless knows their habits and training. Perhaps that makes it easier for her to exploit their weaknesses. Then if we follow the knights, we may pick up her trail. It's not ideal, but it's the best we have to go on. Well, a large contingent of knights has but recently been dispatched to Kurthus. You remember Gargne Mills, yes? It has lain abandoned ever since the heretics were driven from it. Yet there is ever the risk that unsavory elements might infest it once again. Thus have the Temple Knights planned joint patrols of its premises with other contingents. Speak with Sir Redwald at Falcon's Nest. I'm certain he would be glad to have you along. Oh, yeah, honestly, I didn't really sleep very well last night. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. I haven't talked to this dude in a long time. I believe literally since Heaven's Word. That Mistress Suzumi, I see. Of course, you are ever welcome in Falcon's Nest. Yeah, I believe I do not know your. Indeed, whispers of the Temple Knights' humiliations have reached us even here. Falling asleep while on duty, I dare not believe the stories, but it seems there was truth in them after all. They fell asleep, true, but it wasn't their fault. We suspect they fell victim to an enemy wielding a powerful artifact. Now, the rumors failed to mention anything like that. If it can lull even trained warriors to sleep, then we must treat it as a serious threat. Nevertheless, if one knight falls, another is always at the ready to take their place. So long as this artifact cannot put an entire regiment under its spell, I believe we are well positioned to combat it. Interesting. The idea of your allies falling in battle doesn't seem to disturb you at all. Where I hail from, a single warrior is responsible for the safety of his entire village. Make no mistake, we do not doubt our allies' mettle, and we mourn every loss. Yet each man and woman here knows that if they must quit the battle, another sword is just as fierce will take their place. To know that an ally is at your back, it would allow you to fight with abandon. Now, you believe this Leofine might take interest in our activities at Gurgag Mills. Yes, a party has already left, accompanied by a group of temple knights. Your suspicions are correct, then they are at risk. I would ask that you follow in their tracks and ensure they have not fallen victim to foul play. The mills can be found to the north, just across the Black Iron Bridge. I'll be right back. back. Okay, I'm back. One thing about a place called Central Western Highlands is that there's like no aetherites way up here. There's literally just one at the very, very south. So if anything is up here towards the north, you literally have to just fly there. And even that one might actually be faster. I really don't want to go to the Sea of Clouds. That map is deceptively small looking. Because it looks really close right there, but the map, when you actually get there, is pretty big. This is where Alphano got scared of the bears, right? Awaken them, but keep our eyes peeled for Leofine. Arouse these ones. Research the building, that building yonder. Oh my god, all that damage. It's you. Thank the Fury you arrived when you did. Those thugs struck when our backs were turned. I assumed the Temple Knights were protecting the entrance, but I wasn't as cautious as I should have been. Were they killed? Sleeping? I've heard the stories, of course, but I didn't think they were true. Whomever is behind this, I'm sure they didn't count on you showing up. For now, we shall tend to our wounds, and then finish our inspection here. I ask that you join the knights outside and wait until we're finished. Okay. Oh, she has a kind of a cool, crazy look about her. As I thought, just when I was becoming bored, I sighted a familiar face among these slumbering knights. I simply had to come and make sure it was you. You finally found the courage to show yourself. Hand over the cradle now and I won't kill you. He just attacks her. What did they call you again? The Wide Eye? You must have had quite the journey to come this far. This is our quarry, the thief who stole the cradle of the sleepless. This is Leofine. That is your ally? What sodden tavern did you drag them out of? I dare say they seek your artifact for themselves. Matters not, I suppose. Before you both throw your lives away, I suggest you think for a moment. The cause you fight for worth the sacrifice. So few of us know true freedom. If there is aught you would grasp with your own hands, do so before they wither and your eyes shut for the last time. The codes and rules that would bind men are mere illusions. Open your eyes, truly open them, and you shall see a path all your own. Only a fool would waste their life in the struggle of another. Quit spouting nonsense. Nonsense. Perhaps I am here because of another, after all. Apiahi, who came to me at the height of my debauchery and welcomed me into her devious brotherhood. She guided me to great power, yes, and now I lead others upon the unbound path. Yet, truth be told, I have little interest in seeing where it ends. To tear down the world's nations, Ishgard among them, usher the world into, well, what does it matter? Yet I do derive great pleasure in shaming the Temple Knights. Seeing the snickers and jeers deflate their pompous stride as they walk down the streets. This artifact can hasten their fall from grace. I believe I shall keep it. I know the path I walk, the one that leads to your downfall. Oh dear, you seem to have lost your train of thought. I know you cannot hear me. If you want your artifact back, I might suggest stealing it from you while I'm asleep. But considering the burden I have just passed to you, that opportunity may not come for some time yet. Absolutely transcendent. To think the shackles of fatigue weighed so heavily. Alas, it appears the artifact needs its own repose of sorts. No matter, I have learned more than enough to take my next step. So she can, like, put all those other people to sleep, but then as soon as she used it on him, it lost its batteries. It was actually kind of funny though when she put him to sleep. Like you've saved us twice today, thank you. What of him? Fast asleep, just as we were. Could this be what Sir Firmalbert warned us of in his report? I see. Then those stories are more than just wicked rumors. I suppose there is small comfort in the fact that our enemy tipped their hand without causing loss of life. While the drowsiness made my eyes heavy, my ears could not mistake Leofine's arrogant voice. If she would not scruple to attack former comrades in arms, she has fallen farther than I had dared imagine. Yet we bear the blame for allowing her to get the upper hand, and in so doing put innocent lives in danger. Another black mark on our order. 'Twas only thanks to you and your companions' efforts that the snow was not stained red this day. At the very least, allow us to carry him to the congregation. Or go for it. Our work here is done, so we shall accompany them as far as Falcon's Nest. Pray return to Ishgard and look after your friend. Didn't think I'd be coming back to this building. Oh. Like ever, I mean like it's one of those areas where you went to way back in Heaven's Word. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, glad I am to see you well. I understand you come fresh from an encounter with none other than Leofine. Master Tentoawa now rests on the second floor. We shall stand vigil by his side at every moment until he opens his eyes again. We should not have long to wait, but if you wish to check on him, please do so at your leisure. Leofine is gathering those who bear a grudge against the Temple Knight to her side and using this animosity to her advantage. And we now know for certain that Leofine is the mastermind of these attacks, that her aim is to chip away at the very foundation of the Temple Knight's honor. When I shared these revelations with my superiors, it was decided that none would speak publicly of the artifact and its powers. The passage of the Unbound seeks to overthrow the nations of the world. One obvious method to achieve this goal would be to stoke the flames of unrest among the common folk, thus sinking Ishgard into a mire of chaos and distress, not unlike the blasphemies of the final days. Ooh, that's an interesting callback. So long as these failures are placed squarely on the shoulders of the Temple Knights, we can avoid fomenting a more abiding mistrust in the nation's very core. For Ishgard's peace, I would gladly suffer any disgrace. The question remains as to whether we can apprehend Leofine before she tears our reputation to tatters. Oh. So he is there. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little detail. They didn't have to. They don't have to put the character model up there. Alright, so we need to go to Al Amigo. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Actually, you know there's a summoning bell. Oh, that's right. Like what? What? At a guess, I'd say the Resistance has been interrogating the captured highwaymen for long enough to get some answers from them. With any luck, we may even learn more about where we can find that name. I'm sure the commander is as eager as we are to put a stop to his misdeeds. Let's go and see if she's unearthed any useful information. Does have eyes. I was just about to send someone for you. Glad you could save me the bother. I have a favor to ask of you both. I'm going to let the criminal walk free, and I want you to follow him. You see, our questioning has revealed that the bandits are indeed working with Shaltefite. We cut one of them loose, he might lead us straight to their den. But if the mission fails and you're discovered, you may find yourselves confronted with an untold number of outlaws. Of course, I considered sending my own men, but I suspect that by now, the bandits know our faces. Sure, Haruhi's little display in the goalie, I'm sure she alone can handle whatever trouble may come her way. Very well, but if it comes to a fight, you stay behind, understood? I'll have the suspect brought over now, but remember what I said and stay out of sight until he leaves. Oh no, is this going to be one of those following things? That'd be fun. Don't look at me like that. Said I'm sorry, didn't I? That you did, several times. And as much as it galls me, there's no evidence to contradict your claim that you were acting in self-defense, nor is there tangible proof of any other wrongdoing. We've no choice but to let you go. Have somewhere to go, I presume. Well, I suppose I can find work loading caravans in Aligiri. Seems as good a place as any for making a quick turning over a new... In that case, I'll have you escorted there. You'd best keep your nose clean, or we'll come down on you like a tons of brick. Turn over a new leaf. He'll be back among his thieving mates before long, and you'll be right there behind him. For now, all we need to know is the location of their den. Do not attempt to approach the suspects. I'll send word ahead to Aligiri. Once you have the information we need, report to the troops stationed there. Dun, dun. There he is. So much for finding work in Alighieri. He's only just arrived and he's already leaving town. Is he literally walking around this rock right now? This dude's a moron. Oh. He both did something good, but still showed that he's an idiot. Like he walked around that rock. Those are the merchants we met at Porta Pretoria. So they just let you go out of the kindness of their hearts. Is that it? Not only that, but you came crawling straight back here, leading whoever they sent to track you right to our doorstep. I swear, no one followed me. The soldiers took me as far as Alighieri, then went back the way they came. I made sure they were specks in the distance before I even set foot outside of the town. Suppose I've no choice but to take you at your word. Not that it's worth much. Well, now that this charade is at an end, let us change it to something a little less drab. Also fight. Why did you make us fight that woman without the blessing? She could have killed a lot of us without breaking a sweat. Mere oversight, that is all. I forget what his does. Oh, it's the defending one. Though it pains me to admit it, even with the invulnerability granted by the artifact, the likes of us are ever at the mercy of the truly powerful. I never expected that Mamulja wretch to hire a warrior of such caliber to retrieve the vessel. Hawks on those interfering nincompoops. Nincompoops? That's a new one in Final Fantasy XIV. But the Mamulja girl didn't seem a bad sort. Naive, maybe, but it's plain that her heart's in the right place. You truly are pathetic. Not only did you fail miserably, but now you're sympathizing with the enemy? Give me one good reason why I shouldn't rid myself of you permanently. Everything to you. Shall to fight. Without you, we are nothing. They were all in on this from the beginning. With Shatula fight, pulling the strings. This is how he treats his friends. Imagine what he'd do to his enemies. Couldn't stay away, could you? What? Imbecile, you led them straight right to us. I had some distance, actually. Kakulja? Eliminate these vermin. Let you handle this. From Tural. Working here as a mercenary, yes? The ones who hired you stole the Steelhog vessel from my village. We need its blessing to stand a chance against the beasts of the forest. Can't return home without the vessel. Either you return home empty-handed or you won't be returning at all. I'd rather not harm a fellow Turali. But get out of here before I change my mind. I've bought enough time by listening to your blathering. Don't let me catch you sniffing around our tails. Oh, he probably likes her, doesn't he? So I thought I could make that Kulja see sense. But he was clearly in no mood to listen. I'd say our best option is to report to the resistance members and Aligiri, share what we've learned. I was kind of hoping for a fight, to be honest. I'm curious to see what we're going to do about the defensive thing. Because is it really invulnerable, or is it like a shield that only takes so much damage? And then you have to reapply it. Went ahead and gave my account. But I expect he'd like to hear yours as well. Regardless of how things turned out, we appreciate your cooperation in the investigation. Information you've provided has certainly given us a lot to consider. From what I hear, you almost came to blows with the Mamuja sellsword, or sell axe. I'm glad that it didn't come to violence, especially given the power these men have at their disposal. Even so, thank you for braving such a dangerous mission. No thanks are needed. We're just as much a part of this investigation as the Resistance. And I'm sure we can agree we'll need to work together to take down Schultz to the fights and his gang. The performance at Pretoria showed just how cunning they are. I'm told their little act was most convincing. I'll be sure to warn my comrades against any similar shenanigans. For the two of you, be careful out there. All things considered, I say that went fairly well. It's the same trick as the time he came to my village, namely posing as a simple trader when he's in fact a dastardly thief. Still, not even the most skilled actor could fake the fear in his men's eyes. Here's complete control of them, and they are powerless to resist. The one who doesn't seem afraid of him is Kukulja. You might find some common ground. I make for it in other ways. I'm a fairly good judge of character. For most of my life, I've lived in a remote village, deep in the forest. I had hardly any contact with the outside world, so the thought of talking to strangers was quite daunting. Over the course of my journey, I've traveled through all kinds of places. If there's one thing I've learned is this: wherever you go, people are people in the end. In the end, our cultures and the places where we grew up don't make that big a difference. None of us are perfect, and we each have our faults. Even if it's harder to find in some than in others, I believe there is good in all of us. Having said, well, all of that, I can't feel even a shred of goodness in that Schultz fight. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough, or perhaps violence is the only language he understands. Things might get a little rough before he was willing to listen. Dun 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 dun. Ugh. Next one, magical. Rads at Han. Da 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 dun dun da da dun dun. Tepeke. I hope you've been well. Since last we spoke, the Justiciar has been busy felling fiends all across the Thavner. leaving a trail of witnesses behind in his wake. More than a few have reported seeing stones falling from the sky, all but confirms our theory that the treasure is causing the phenomenon. The stories share one more peculiar commonality. It seems the pests he hunts have all been of the seedkin variety. Why he avoids beasts of flesh and blood is yet a mystery. It bears mentioning that each of these eyewitness accounts came from people who were rescued by the Justiciar, who invariably appears just as these creatures attack. Fact: the Justiciar has been there to save the day in every single instance of seedkin-related mischief. Awfully suspicious, if you ask me. I'm not the only one who thinks so. Some among the Radiant Host have suggested that the Justiciar is planning these assaults now, so he alone can reap the glory from thwarting them. I agree and think this should be our next avenue of investigation. Many of these incidents occurred near the Giant's Gall grounds, so we should start our search there. We can find one of these monstrous plants before it finds hapless prey, may be able to shed light upon the Justiciar's methods. Time is of the essence, so let's leave at once. I'm starting to feel sleepy. Ah. Any moving bushes? Slithering vines? Not here in any case. I'll search the western path. Why don't you search the east? Okay. If you see something, don't strike to kill. Weaken it, then capture it with this rope. Learn much more from a live specimen. Oh no. Oh. this mount. I do. Really, really do. I see plenty of fauna roaming about, but the flora all seems to be of the rooted to the ground variety. Perhaps my hunch was incorrect. Found one. In fact, this is exactly as an eyewitness described. Why don't you keep it for the time being? Bring it to the Great Work, and I'll ask my acquaintance there to examine it with all haste. Rods at on. Yeah. Oh, is that the Great Work? It's at the Great Work. Oh well. Dun 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 dun. Actually tastes okay, I think. I think a little less honey would be okay. What's up, Nidhana? Mistress Tepeke told me what to expect. Well then, let's see the thing. Oh, I didn't expect it to be so diminutive. Mistress Tepeke's intuition is correct, and I expect some interesting discoveries are in store. You've brought me quite the fascinating specimen indeed. I can say for certain that this creature's growth isn't natural in the slightest. Biologically, it's still but a sapling, as you can tell by its size. Yet it is the result of a specific alchemical mixture which is used to spur the growth of seeds and mycelium in an unnatural degree. Agents have a side effect of making the creature more aggressive, which explains why such a small specimen would so boldly attack beings larger than itself. Yet the solution requires ingredients most rare. The cost of procuring enough to synthesize it would be beyond the means of most. So whoever is behind this, they are likely well healed. For the creatures themselves, if they were all grown artificially, perhaps that explains why most of the incidents involved small seedkin. Rather than wait for them to mature naturally, the Justiciar must have accelerated their growth so that he could deploy huge numbers over a short span of time. In fact, his plan likely requires they be small, weak foes in order to guarantee his victory. After all, the great Justiciar can hardly be expected to bear the blemish of a defeat. With these new details brought to light, it's almost certain he's staging these attacks on the common folk. Perhaps you should return to Yeddalamad. I hear the Justiciar is the talk of the village, and they doubtless have stories to share. Splendid idea. Thank you. Your findings have brought us a step closer to unmasking that villain. Let's hurry to Yellowmod. The more accounts we have of the Justiciar, the better our chances of predicting his next move. I like her. I like this character too. I have a thing for Araz. I'm really curious to see where this is gonna go, because like right now it's kind of just, it's not serious. Rest assured, the Radiant host are well aware of the Justiciar. Every day we receive more reports of him combating beasts. Need to not read every single piece of dialogue. Try to leave it to things that are a bit more important. Like when you need to talk to 3 different people, just kind of read it fast. What is going on here? You have a moment? I'm having a little trouble here. I sought this merchant out because I was told he dealt with alchemists in the great work. Thought he might know something about the Justiciar. When I asked, he's been like this ever since. Apologies, I was just surprised that you would ask me about that madman. What connection could he possibly have with me? The fiends he fights are grown with rare alchemical materials, and we think he may be staging these encounters. Since you deal in such wares, I wondered if you might know how he came into their possession. I don't know what you're talking about, I've never spoken to that man. I very much doubt that. Perhaps he'll be more receptive to questioning from you. Spit it out, you're working with him. Seems to have intimate knowledge. Come now, any merchant with a nose for profit has good relations with the alchemists. By your way of thinking, any one of us could be in league with Virazan. Virazan? Said, who is that? May I ask? Oh, I like her. Huh? What? Did I? No. That's my name. I'd be a fool to continue this charade any longer. My son Virazan is the one you know as the Justiciar. To be suddenly confronted with his litany of misdeeds, I quite lost my composure. You're his father? Then you know how he came into possession of such rare materials and knowledge? Aye, he stole them from me. My most valuable materials and my precious maps. Yet I was the one who chose to hide that fact and bear the blame for the consequence. What can you tell us about him as a person? Urazan was obsessed with tales of legendary heroes. Even from a young age, I paid a great deal of money to have him tutored in the art of the bow. He became quite skilled at it, in fact, but not quite as skilled as his arrogance led him to believe. Due to this, and perhaps a lack of ambition, he never aspired true greatness. Instead, he came to rely upon fanciful equipment and exotic potions, rather than honing what skill he had. It pained me to see him fall into dissoluteness, but he would brook no counsel. So several years ago, I gave him enough coin to support his lavish lifestyle, told him never to speak with me again. He didn't, until but recently when he darkened my doorstep once more. And that was when he stole your goods? Although I would have willingly given them if he had asked. He was rambling almost incoherently, saying that his heroic deeds as the justiciar had caught the eye of someone named Apyahi, leader of the Passage of the Unbound, whoever they are. He claimed that under the guidance of his newfound allies, he had obtained a great power. Power enough to eclipse all heroes who have come before and shall come after, as he put it. Seems he gives what money he still has to these people. To think that for all his fanciful words, he has only deigned to grasp at hollow glory, all at the expense of Radzat-Han. There is no greater shame as a father. He most likely aimed to sow discontent through Burazan's deeds. He may be so blinded by his own desire for adoration, he can't see whose hands are pulling his strings. You know that sharing my story might be the only way to save my son. Can't imagine our meeting would end this way. Truth be told, I'm not entirely unsympathetic towards Burazan. I basked in my father's reflected glory while having none of my own. Similarly false. I too shall visit the Radiant Host and have them spread word of the Justiciar's true nature. If the people are wise to his trickery, they will be far more likely to aid us. We'll soon learn that a legend built on lies is no match for true heroism. That's right. Enlarged cobweb. Man, I'm getting all the bots today. Right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right, we need to go to Kugane. Are they they're still in Kugane. Wonderful, you're here. Ever since the incident in the Ruby Sea, I've kept a line of communication with the Confederacy. This report is something you'd be interested to hear. Apparently, a man impersonating the distinguished Lord of Doma was recently exposed. Oh, he impersonated Hien? That was that was not the right move, I would say. One of the Lord's retainers saw through the pretender's facade while he was attempting to stir up trouble in the Doman enclave. The imposter then reportedly transformed into a hawk and fled. Clearly, our quarry now nests in Doma. I'd like to resume our hunts immediately. You can't fool Yagiri. Come on now. Oh no. I'd like to resume our hunt immediately, but I'm not sure where he may go after his failure in the Enclave. Do any locations come to mind? A town in Yangsha called Namai, you say? That sounds promising. The extent of your knowledge is truly remarkable. Then, without further ado, let's make our way here and see if the residents have noticed any unusual activity. Dun, 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 dun. You know what? Let's go. Let's go to the Doman Enclave real quick. I love Kugane. I need to go see my girl Yagiri. Yagiri, it's been a long time. I need I believe Oh, I need 40. Oh, there we go. Where am I going? Oh, I need to go to... And it's kind of funny. They literally have, like, the wolf would probably be able to smell that it's not he, right? So another quest thingy where we need to talk to 3 different people. I'm just gonna read these in my head from now. Remember that time we were over here with elites and we were like hiding? You know what? I don't even care. I love Stormblood. I loved it so much. Mordian voiced intentions to invade Naxia. Naxia? All present grew weary of the end. Yeah. Impersonating people is not simply looking like them and sounding like them. Like, if you want to impersonate somebody, you have to, I think um, you have to research them. Basically have to stalk them so that you know what kinds of things they would, because like this idiot just gave himself away like really fast. You know, she was up here. None of the residents I spoke with reported anything out of the ordinary. How did you fare? Why he have gone? Huh? What are you doing here? Friend of yours? Don't hang your head like we're strangers. We met just moments ago, remember? Ask me how to reach the House of the Fierce? Is he impersonating us now? Could he have impersonated you this time? Doesn't bode well. We must hurry. Oh, I feel like the House of the Fierce would know your character. Oh wait. Nope. How far must we swim to reach this place? I dare say my days spent in the lakes back home are about to come in handy. Friends, it's come to my attention that the Khan, the Azim Steppes, mighty Oronir tribe conspires in the shadows to invade Dome. Must not give them the chance. Invasion would mean all-out war. There is only one solution. Under the cover of darkness, you must assassinate the Khan. But we're the Khan. They grow wary. Perhaps I should observe my targets more carefully. With all due respect, these allegations must be brought before Lord Hien. It is imperative we receive his instructions before acting. While an impostor disguised as Lord Hien was but recently exposed. Oronir's spy, there can be no question. Yet the spy has fled. Their whereabouts is unknown. They could be anyone and anywhere. Why would those who fought alongside us for Doma's liberation conspire to not seem yourself? Shadow looms over Doma, and only with your help can I cast away its dark paw. Please lend me your strength. True that she has never led us astray. It's that infernal Urnir spy. Quickly kill her before she can escape. You sound nothing like me. I like that one. He gets hit by that every single time. It's you. Such persistent vermin. Okay. She's gonna miss. Is she gonna miss again? I want her to hit him at least once. Come on now. Oh no, I missed that screenshot. That was a good screenshot. Are you truly the foremost hunter of your village? You're nothing like that other girl. What was her name? Ah yes, Toka. She was fearsome, that one. Right up until the moment I drove my blade into her back. Wow. What is this? Don't tell me you've been masquerading around as Itoka herself. After all, that would make you no better than me. Hiding behind the name of another won't erase the blame you bear for everything that happened. I'm sorry, I swear I'll explain everything to you later. For now, we should apprise these men and women of the situation. I don't think my character would care all that. Maybe it's fine. Just tell me later. All of Doma will be on alert. I was completely fooled. I have no words to express my shame. Upon speaking with you again, I realized that though the imposter assumed your guise, he had neither your spirit nor your grace. Forgive me, I will not fall for such a farce again. Who is that? Might I have a word? The man impersonating you earlier, I'd recognize his face anywhere. Without a doubt, he's Samadari, a childhood friend. You know him? Please, you must tell us everything. I've known Samadari nearly my entire life. We learned the shinobi arts together, you see. Roughly 25 years ago, we engaged in our first battle as proud ninja, defending Doma against the Empire's invasion. With every fiber in our body, we met their mighty Magitech with nimble ninjutsu. As if moved by our resolve, the mighty auspice and guardian of Doma, Tamamo Gozen, appeared on the field of battle to aid our cause. Oh? Yet our efforts were for naught. The Empire's might fell upon Doma like a hammer. We were crushed beneath their overwhelming force. Occupation began soon thereafter. So too did my work from the shadows. While I devoted myself to resisting the Empire in secret, Samadari was conscripted into their army, forced to become an Imperial spy. I understand he served them well, fanning the flames of war in faraway lands through rumor and manipulation. Indeed, as far back as I can recall, Samadari has ever excelled in the skill of subterfuge. It was only after the prisoner exchange that he returned to Doma at long last. But he was a changed man. He could find no joy or solace in the peace he once fought to secure for our nation. Instead, he sought to disrupt it. War has taught me the truth of this world. Civility is but a facade to hide man's savagery. I'll prove it here, in dear Doma. The fool I am. I thought he was jesting. Only later, when I discovered the web of lies he'd spun to turn folk against one another, did I realize he meant every word. I tried to confront him, but he fled Doma before I had the chance. Nevertheless, I searched his home afterwards and discovered a missive from an organization called the Passage of the Unbound. Have it with me here. Illustrious Samadari, we extend our deepest gratitude for your interest in joining the Passage of the Unbound. Draw us closer to its goals, and we shall require exceptional talent for what lies ahead. Bearing these needs in mind, we have decided to welcome you into the fold. This Passage of the Unbound kept a watchful eye on nations, far and wide, to recruit cutthroats like Samadari who only follow their own desires. I'm afraid that appears to be the way of it. In all likelihood, it is the Passage of the Unbound which alerted him to this dreamweave cocoon's existence. Today, Samadari attempted to incite war between Doma and the steppe by wearing the face of our dearest ally. Your timely appearance prevented the worst from happening, but so long as he can alter his form and face at will, who can say what tomorrow may bring? His years as a secret operative have made him a master at reading people. I don't know about that. I don't think he's been doing that good of a job. Should he decide to study his target before taking their form, I fear his schemes may not be discovered until it's already too late. Okay, so he's saying if he actually did what I said earlier, to study the person before taking their form, then he'd a lot better. Character that was right there. I say you. Oops. Started with that. Dun, 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 dun. I'm grateful for your help today. Once again, I let our prey slip away. The only silver lining is that we know who he is now. More importantly, I apologize for deceiving. As Samadari said, I'm not the greatest hunter of my home. I'm not Itoka. I'm Wiki? I hail from the same village as Itoka, and I too am a hunter, but only in name. You've seen my aim for yourself. Most shameful of all is that it's my fault the Dreamweave cocoon was stolen. Normally, it is enshrined in the deepest recesses of our home. Only Itoka had leave to wield it. The forest provides shelter and sustenance to many, and not all we share its bounty with are friendly. When great beasts threaten our home, the cocoon's power may be used to protect our lives. Yet I used it for my own foolish desires. I couldn't take it anymore. I was a hunter, yet could barely catch prey large enough to feed myself. I was forced to wash clothes, prepare meals, and tune bows. Just once, I wanted to be acknowledged. I wanted to feel pride, so I used the cocoon's power to transform myself into Itoka. Oh. With her dexterity and finesse, it kind of gives you a little bit of like their skills. I carried my prize home. He appeared. I found him collapsed in the middle of a beaten path. Never had reason to mistrust someone before, so I approached to nurse his wounds. Yet the moment I drew close, he knocked the cocoon from my grasp, struck me unconscious. He was long gone by the time I awoke. I confessed my sin to the village elder, and in her boundless grace, she forgave me. I cannot forgive myself. I left home that very eve in secret to pursue the thief, all the way to Gugan. After several days of fruitlessly scouring the city, who should I see but Itoka? As our most exceptional hunter, it came as no surprise that Elder had charged her with recovering the cocoon. She was astonished to see me, of course. I had told no one of my actions. I feared she would send me home, but when I expressed to her my shame, my anger, she consoled me, told me we would find the cocoon together. And I was certain we would. Till that duplicitous bastard killed her. You appeared soon after her passing. I thought, with someone as strong as you at my side, maybe I could avenge her, so I lied. Like Samadari said, I'm no better than he is, an imposter. But my desire to reclaim the cocoon is every bit as strong as Itoka's was. I'm so sorry for lying to you. I hope that you confide in your heart to forgive me. Continue to aid me in reclaiming the Dreamweave cocoon. I mean, I actually forgot that she was supposed to be the best hunter. So I just kind of thought that she was somebody who they just, sent. pay me a visit when you find the time and moment to spare. I'm counting on you. We got this. Uyuki. Uiki. Ki. All right. Let's go. Like, I could run this way. I really wanted to. I don't really. I'll just brave the main Aetherite Plaza. Oshkana nearly jumps for joy at the sight of you. Am I glad to see you? I've just received word from Muslim and Zurich. Our culprits have finally been spotted. Seems the thieves headed for Upper Lunasia. I offered to make my way there as soon as I could. Wisdom and Zurich said I should hang back for now. Once they've gathered enough information, they'll be heading back to Elport. Let's go and see what news they have to share. Dun dun. Ba-dum bum. I vaguely remember that. Are you like just looking at that boat? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. No sign of Wisdom and Zurich yet. I don't mean to assume the worst, but I admit I'm a bit worried. No, I should have insisted on going. I don't want them injured on my behalf. I say we head out and find them. Terribly sorry for the delay. How did you fare out there? You found Ellerets and Kokonoa, right? Yes? Oh, we found them alright, but it didn't take long for them to find us. We were set upon by Kokonoa's mammoths. His mechanical menagerie greatly outnumbered us. May very well have been our end. Death by mammoths isn't an ideal way to go, mind you. A retreat was our only option. Cowardly though it might sound, we needed to ensure we could keep you aware of the culprit's whereabouts. Before they spotted us, they were stuffing their little metal army into a skiff bound for Camp Bronze Lake. Mark my words, they're plotting something new. Of course, it's entirely possible they seek a quiet route to eastern Lenasia in which to bypass Bronze Lake instead. But a thorough search of the camp would be wise. As the enemy faces capability, enemy faces far beyond our capability. So this is as far as Wislam and I will be able to go. Sorry we couldn't provide more decisive information. We're as eager to bring those criminals to justice as you. Indeed, we shall at least take pride in knowing we could point you in the right direction. But we should take our leave for now. Wislam and I ran most of the way here, and I think I speak for both of us when I say we could use a comfortable chair and a hearty meal. I beg you not to underestimate that of our foe. The ferry skipper spoke of the place my first time here. Should hurry and seek passage before Elarete and Kokonoa elude us again. Green. What a lovely camp. Now, if I were a half-crazed alchemist, a heart sting, and a new scheme up my sleeve, where would I hide? Are they just... I think it'd be funny if they were just, like, bathing. If they were just enjoying the hot water. Oh. Is it just me? What? It hurts to laugh. Oh dear, that doesn't bode well. To the upper levels, quickly. Poisoning the springs, you truly are the lowest of the low. You flatter me. 'Twas just a little poison, really. As a treat, I'm afraid I couldn't contaminate all the water here. But we're having oh so much fun with our shiny new hallucinatory toxin. I thought they had to drink it or like consume it. I didn't know that it just touching you. Protecting the healer, are we? How sickeningly sweet of you. But you ought to watch your step as well, my dear fairy apple, lest you find yourself seeing stars. Or, Is aught amiss? I believe I may have poisoned myself. Was she holding on to it for too long or something? Guess what? Do you recall those antidotes I prepared at the base? Because I forgot to bring them. You are your own worst enemy. Do you know that? I suggest we retreat before you decide to dive headfirst into the springs for fun. Bound scum. Think we'll allow you to walk free after all the chaos you've caused? Well, yes, actually. Have you seen Elarete? She's in no state to contend with you, and I've never been one for a rough humble. Welcome to give chase, provided you have no qualms about leaving these poor souls to laugh themselves senseless. I would call today a rousing success. But worry you not, my dearest bushel of busybodies. We've plenty more tricks in store for you and the entire island. Don't sense any toxins in the waters anymore, so the springs should be safe again. Seeing as Elarete suffered from a taste of her own medicine, I doubt she's mastered much of the heart sting power. Weak. Most of her handiwork has already evaporated with steam. One might compare it to the way those awful unbound smoke bombs dissipate, and thank goodness they do. In more capable hands, however, the heart sting's poison remains active, unless dispelled with Asuna or another form of antidote. The same permanence applies to its cleansing ability for our foods. Now, there's much on my mind, but I think we have bigger problems to address first. Let's make our rounds the camp and then talk about our next step. I actually kind of like it when they make us use Asuna for stuff like this, or like here or something like that. Much appreciated, madam. I wasn't anywhere near the water when it was poisoned, but the toxin steam must have drifted this way. When I heard the rumblings about mysterious mammoths roaming about... Oh, I'm not going to read these. Out loud, I mean. Reznaz, how you doing? Sorry if your message has been there. They're going pretty good. They're taking a lot longer than I thought they were going to. I kind of forgot that role quests have quite a lot of dialogue. I don't know how I could possibly have forgotten that, but I did. But I definitely agree with what I saw before I did these, in that these role quests for Dawntrail, you could literally do them at any time, or like let's say your main job is White Mage. So I think once you can like go through all of MSQ, finish base Dawntrail, and then like do the White Mage quests. Well, for the healer role quests, and it's fine. It hasn't like it hasn't given any spoilers, or it hasn't like really connected with story at all. Yeah, I think the ones in Endwalker were just an exception. Um because that was really the only time where I really felt like I wanted to do, or I should have done, the role quests before a certain point. Hildebrand. Hildebrand is pretty good. It's very goofy. Which is always appreciated. No, Astrologian is actually my favorite. Then White Mage. Not working. Okay. Try to White Mage just happens to be the job that I started with the game with. It was accidental, but it was still the first one, so. Sage? I think Sage... it's my least played of the... Healer. That practice finally laughing victims. The first two short cutscene. Oh, the third one keeps telling me unable to commit cuts. Freed up inventory space. I think. So you have to log out and relog back. Let's see if this works. Now, if you knew that there was going to be like 200 people in the queue to get in world, just abandon the quest and yes. You can literally just skip everything. But this says if you log out, log back in, and ensure you use it on. So that didn't seem to work. So I mean, I literally have to go all the way back to all right. That's really annoying. Didn't want that to happen. No, it's if you finish the Lalafels before you do hers, it causes the bug. So you have to make sure you Insuna her first. Oh, I didn't. See how you have to be right up, but to do. Wait for what? For what, AoE? I didn't read that message earlier. Although I did really love this cutscene, but well, I did the exact same thing I did last time. All right, Befuddled bather. Let's go. Let's go heal her first. That person always there? My costume compatriots, they're gone. Farewell, my visions. May you revel on in my memory. They say laughter is the best medicine, though I feel far worse than before. Many thanks for putting an end to it. Thank you for wearing a bikini. I think I've earned myself another soak and an extra flagon of mulled wine. Pleasant travels to you, healer. Okay. But yeah, White Mage definitely has, I think, the best AoE, because having a stun is just overpowered. I like Scholars because it's an instacast. So that's helpful because you don't have to stand there and cast it. What is Sages? Okay, so Sages is pretty much the same because it's insta-cast. Right? I think the only AoE I don't like is Astrologian. I don't like their AoE at all. Because you have to untarget the tank to target an enemy. Yeah, that's not too bad though, because but I get it. I understand why that's not the best. You don't want your healer to be right there in the action. Since I don't remember what they were from. But I really enjoyed the card system change that they did. And they even reduce the casting, the cooldown period. That's nice, because that was one of the complaints I had. I felt like 60 seconds was too long for the cards on cooldown. Draw. Okay. Wonderful, I'm glad it soon proved effective. For my part, I've given the springs a thorough look. Toxins have dissipated completely, so the bathers should be safe from here on out. As for Elarete and Kokonoa's antics, I had a moment to reflect on everything. Now that our work is done, do you have a moment to chat? I'm well versed in the numbing and blinding poisons used on our hunts. At home, something kept troubling me about Elarete's toxin. I've never seen anything like it. I had no idea it even existed among the scorpion's gifts. Elarete may be inexperienced, but the fact that she's learned to inflict hallucinations is cause for concern. Still, we should try to look on the bright side. She's yet to discover the heart sting's cleansing properties. Judging by the way she couldn't cure her own ailments, knowing her as we do, I reckon she only has toxic trickery on her mind. Makes sense. Kokonoa, however, handled himself surprisingly well despite his exposure. Do you recall the man in Limsa Laminsa who ate the poisoned apple? He claimed that Kokonoa took a bite, yet never suffered its ill effects. He must have some manner of immunity, but how? Traditional Dunes folk families often drink poisoned teas to build tolerance. Quite to tell. So the real poison was switched for a sedative with similar properties. And as a Dunes folk, she regularly ingested small amounts of toxins filled against such things, which allowed her to awaken from her coma. Has some sort of upbringing. But it certainly explained why Elarate's tricks don't seem to affect him. You in my village would ever think to consume potentially lethal food or drink without drawing on the Heartsting's power. If the Dunes folk do it gladly, or consider our differing approaches to poison, the more fascinating it becomes. But I have a feeling the bathers won't want to overhear talk of poisons after what they've just been through. Why don't we continue our discussion in Limsa Lominsa? Yeah, I like that it's just draw, get 3 cards, play, what is it? If I remember correctly, it's so it's like the balance and the spear. So it's like you draw this one, you just toss it on your melee DPS or tank if you don't have one, I guess. And then the next one will be the spear. So then you just toss that on your arrow. Increases HP recovery. Okay, so that one I just throw that one on the tank. And then this one I just throw this one on the tank as well. This one I like all the other 4 I just throw them on the tank. That's pretty much it. Whenever I draw the Lord of Crowns, I just play that one like instantly because it's damage. This one I hold on to this one for a little while, but no. I main ninja. I just had a lot of time with healing because I started with it, so it ended up being what I played a lot of the time. So I've played a lot of White Mage and Astrology. Scholar less so, Sage even. Ninja is my favorite job, like all of them. Gunbreaker is my favorite tank. Red Mage is my favorite magical DPS. Then Machinist is my favorite physical. But I enjoy all the jobs, which is nice. No, I've been anxious to ascertain our thieves' whereabouts. Beings escalated far quicker than I thought. Presence throughout the whole ordeal was a welcome one. What was not so welcome were Elarate's parting words. Whatever she has planned for the whole island can't possibly be good. Her acts of mischief have only grown worse since I arrived in the city. Must take the heartsting back before she causes any lasting harm. Bard is fun. Of course, it was Wisdom's and Zerig's efforts that led us to Elarete, so I'll have to thank them when I get the chance in the meantime. I'll do what I can to track down our unruly thieves and report to you as soon as I'm able. Okay. Now, I want to do one more. I feel like the one in Ishgard feels kind of serious, but feels like it has more dialogue or range. Eh. Yeah, so I think I talked with this with somebody before. Um, the reason I like Machinist most is because pretty much all of their stuff is just damage. I don't like support DPS. So Bard and Dancer have this, like they have their support DPSs. Not that they don't do damage or anything like that. It's just I like Machinist. First, we'll need to track down the members of the General Craig, them to leave. Considering how terrified most of them were, I'm sure they're eager to free themselves of Falsiful fights and his outburst. Your followers will pose less of a threat to the people. I'm of the stance that I think DPSs should be selfish. Like I don't want DPSs to have party-wide damage buffs. I want them to buff their own damage. In that case, let's start looking. Rest assured, I'm already a step ahead of you. Besides, if your role is to fend off bandits and the like, weapons are resistant. Friend stationed here has some interest. Okay, let's just kind of read this in my head. I'm starting to get hungry too. I'm glad that once I end stream, it's gonna be a little. I have at least. I can go for like at least 40 more minutes if I really want that. But see, you should care, because every time Bard casts Mage's Ballad, right? And it increases damage dealt by all party members by 1%. I would rather, especially as a tank or a healer, I would rather them not buff me, but buff themselves for more percentage than giving everybody a 1% buff. Now, it's a little different when you're doing like your Savage content and you have more than just 2 DPSs, because then you're buffing 4 DPSs. But still, I maintain what I say. I don't play Savage content either. That's very true. Save me. Save me. This is... that what you really want? You seem so scared than before. We're not going to hurt you. We just want to retrieve the vessel. If you explain what's going on, we might even be able to help you. Why don't you start by telling us your names? Our names? I'm gonna think of it. Not once did Charlotte ask us that. It was always you there, or some undeserved insult instead. I'm Avenel. This here's Pepin. Both born and bred in Ul'dah. We were struggling to make ends meet until Dawntrail, claiming to be a merchant, took us under his wing. He said that he was just like us, exploited and sick of bending over backwards for the rich and powerful. Then he showed us the artifact and told us it had the power to change the world for the better. Its blessing, you could shrug off the charge of an aurochs like it was a soft breeze, making you practically invincible. At first he told us to pretend to be merchants so we could scout out vulnerable caravans. Next thing we knew, we were joining him on raids. We never wanted to hurt anyone, but we owed Charlotte for giving us the power to strive for a better life. And when we saw what happened to anyone who spoke up against him, it still makes my blood run cold to think of it. Willem? He's telling the truth, that is. It seems to me his gang is mostly formed of people from a similar background. But what of Kukulja? He's a mercenary, correct? I doubt he even needs the blessing. Normally he keeps to himself, but he once told me about his homeland, ocean away. Perhaps it is not unlike my own, Avenel Pepin. Even if you still view us as enemies, we appreciate you telling us the truth. No, we're the ones who should thank you. You've shown us more kindness than he ever has. Another thing, though. Although you know about the crimes we've been party to, give us some time to straighten things out. This is all over, we'll turn ourselves in, I promise. Of course, we're not the only ones looking to cut ties with him. We'll try to persuade the others to leave the gang. Not only that, with us acting as your men on the inside, we can help you take back your treasure. What do you say? Oh, we'll see how this works. We'll return to the den and talk to them. Until next we meet, be careful. But yeah, savage content is a different beast, so I'm speaking purely from casual standpoint. Do you remember his reaction when we encountered him? I have a feeling he and I are both from a similar part of Tural. He was surprised to see someone like me here in Aor's. Worth talking to. That we need to create an opportunity. Yeah. And it's a lot different when a lot of your damage is done to the trash mobs along the way to the boss. Since self is opal, a type of tree resin, do you collect some? That's a gate. I think I was gonna be collecting this. But one of the I do have some complaints about Machinist. Number one being flamethrower sucks. Flamethrower is not good. It needs work. And their only actual like self buff is reassemble. Like that's the only thing that gives them more damage. I think they need more self buff button. forgot I had this. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that was somebody else. I didn't even see that other person there. Blue is level 70, 80, 70. I kinda stopped working on blue when Endwalker came out because I started leveling other jobs, and then I think I started blue a little bit at some point in Endwalker, but I don't think that lasted very long. Yeah, they're good in Fates. I'm gonna leave soon, but blue is definitely something I need to, because I think it can go up to 80 now, right? I definitely need to get that up to max level. Isn't it just basically having somebody like using the stupid sardine and then having somebody like now at level 100 go and kill the stuff for you? What are you doing here? Yeah, the ability. Gee, right. Here, I have a present for you. Incense burner. Metal case is an old one I happen to have with me, but I made the incense from fresh ingredients, including copal Haruhi collected. Why not try lighting it? Sure, the aroma will bring back pleasant memories. Home. There's no need. I'd recognize that smell anywhere. As much as I long to return home, I'd rather not be reminded of what I left behind, but I might never see again. As things stand, I've no choice but to continue working as Charlotte to fight's mercenary, no matter what crimes he commits. But why? But why? The fare for a ship back to Total is enough to buy a mansion here in Eorzea. At least that's what Fights told me. He said that if I serve him loyally, he'd cover the cost of my journey home. What? Hold on a moment. Surely that can't be right. People rich and poor travel from Eorzea to Tuliolal all the time. Well, since I'm unfamiliar with the local customs for negotiations and such, to speak with the ship's owner and my oh, he's getting paid. Compared to the journey from Total to Eorzea, traveling in the opposite direction is far more perilous due to the weather conditions and so forth. The price would have been even higher, or so he said. I've been played for a fool, haven't I? Oh, everything's coming together. It's the manipulator, yo. Sure to give you passage home for a fair price. To tell the truth, I was rather hoping you'd join us in our cause, but you've already been through enough. Getting you home safe and sound comes first. Though I may have been deceived, that is no excuse for the harm and suffering I have caused. I alone must settle the score with Schultzifites once and for all. Alright. I'm pretty much gonna finish this role quest and then leave. I'm gonna go get lunch. I was gonna have sushi yesterday, but things happened and I couldn't do that, so I might go try to get some sushi today. I'm gonna go buy a mattress, yo. Sushi. Just sushi. Sometimes I get sushi with chicken teriyaki or something like that, but today I think I'm just gonna get like 2 orders of sushi. I'm hungry. Sushi is surprisingly filling. But oh, thanks for stopping by. Can never forget to say that. And thanks for chatting. Enjoy it. Isn't at all like his first impression suggested. Actually rather sweet and perhaps a touch naive. I swear, I would be completely okay if those two ended up having a little bit of a romance in this. Well, Cool Jaw wasn't the only one. I can't bring myself to forgive that treacherous viper. Thanks to him, we've been led a merry dance and still have nothing to show for it. Any luck, our newfound allies Avenel and Pepin have good news for us before long. Alright. Yeah, so I'm going to end stream there. Tomorrow... Actually, depending on how long I'm gone, I might... no, I'm kind of sleepy, so it probably won't happen. I'm just going to shut my mouth and not even say it. I was gonna say that I might come back and do another stream of these, but no, it's the lack of sleep last night. Only slept for like 5 hours, but we'll see. Maybe. All right, I'm out of here. I think the person I'm going with is on their way. But they will be soon. And this will give me enough time to rest for it. Anyways, tomorrow will be more role quests. I will try I have to do tanks, melee, and magical. Level 96 and 98. 100? I'm really gonna try to get these done. If anything, I think, is there gonna be an alliance? I don't know. I shouldn't look too much into it. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with more role quests. And later, some sushi.